Hello and welcome to MtG. I'm Vyacheslav and today I show you my Premodern decks collection. It's 8 decks that me and my wife can build to play mostly at home, because actually I don't play Premodern so regular. And also I tell you a story how I start to play Premodern and how I build all these decks actually. Let's start. From my first deck, and actually from the moment that I start playing Premodern, I already played old school Magic, but in my city in St. Petersburg at this time it was not so many school players, and I noted that some Magic players interested in the format Premodern, and I think like why not to build some deck for fun, deck that I will like, and just put it into my shelf, and sometimes once per, I don't know, quarter again try to play format. And I built that guy L. It's a classic midrange deck. For me it's really fine because I tried to play something like this in Legacy time ago when I started to play Legacy, and when that guy was like not so bad deck in Legacy. That guy with good old cards, not good new printed right now. And you can see the deck is simple midrange. It have a dark ritual to play big threats like Hippies or maybe not Sushi, Masticore to the field fast. Of course, best use for Dark Rituals first turn, Phyrexian and Arena, to draw 2 cards every turn. When you draw many cards, you won the game. And also they have a lot of removal, a lot of good discard spells, not so non-harness like Himdotarash, but balance it and even tricky. Yeah, I mean the Garrus Verdict. And when I built this deck, it was fine. I'm pretty sure that it was tier 1, even in like top 8 of decks, of popular decks, because many people, to be honest, like that guy L. Yeah, name is fun, and actually black and white combination good. And right now it's not so popular, of course, even maybe not really popular, because it's other version of the deck that more interesting for players. But actually it's my favorite deck in Steel. In the current meta game it can be fine, because in old school, not old school, Premodern Pro Tour, I think event names, it was that guy L that was undefeated in the Swiss. Really good result, to be honest, for this midrange deck. And I built this deck to put it into my shelf, but of course, me with my wife we play Magic all the time, so I also built a deck for my wife. And she made a request for Premodern for new format. She asked to build tribal deck, and it was, as my opinion at this moment, not so good, because it can be elves with Gaze Cradles and Survivals, really expensive tribal deck right now, you know, and Goblins. I think Goblins not easy, to be honest. I still think it's not easy deck to play, and because my wife played the Ernam Burnem in old school, it's a red and green aggressive deck. I built aggressive deck with red and green, the Fires. And again, I don't remember right now. I'm pretty sure that the moment when I built it, it was like tier 2, high tier 2, like in top 15 of the decks. It was good, and actually it must be good. It's have simple game plan. You play Mana Dork, one Fires, one big creature with haste, and one big enchantment finisher to play a lot of beasts and finish game quickly in one attack. And you also have a green to use disenchants, red to use removal, bolts, cows, earthquake, stuff like this. So looks like it's fun and simple, but maybe it's a moment of current meta game, because this combination of fires and big enchantments at the first slow, and at the second it can be broken by any naturalize or disenchant, and I think any deck that want to control field, not win too fast, try to use disenchants and effects like this, because a lot of powerful artifacts and enchantments in Premodern Magic right now. So currently the deck not so popular. It's the other version of the deck, like I think Zoo, with cheap creatures, but I'm pretty sure you still can build stuff like this and play. Why not? It can be pretty good where your plan work. And I built these 2 decks. We play on the kitchen for casual duels. I visit few live Premodern events, and when you know, when you start to play in any format, in any game, you want more experience. And by the time I think that I need more new experience, you know. And actually, in old school Magic it's hard to play controls on the budget, and I play mostly on the budget, so I built control deck for Premodern, the Land Steel. It's a good and fun deck. If you like control decks, you will like it, of course. If you like control decks and you go Premodern, build this. It's best control decks in format. It uses great white removal, a lot of counter magic, a lot of draw engines like Factor Friction, and of course the Standstill enchantment that will draw 3 cards to player when opponent play any spell. And also in this deck you don't need to play spells to win the game. You use manlands, you use cycle effects. So you can just kill opponent's creatures, lock the game by steal. If opponent plays something, you draw 3 cards. If not, you just go to attack with factories. So your opponent must play something one moment. Cool deck, but it's my issue. Mostly I don't play control decks a lot. I play like maybe a few events, but when I think like, oh, I don't want to play so slow, right now I prefer the mid-range decks. So, of course, I built this deck. We play it on the kitchen for fun, if you can play with control decks for fun, and actually it's just go to shelf. Mostly I use that GL for even casual games. And, of course, for some updates, I must build for my wife one second deck too, to choose between 2 of them. And I still ignore request for tribal decks, which slightly talking about, and I build the Rock. The Rock because it's partially works like the Fires. It also have the mana dorks, also have the big characters, big creatures for 4 mana, and you can play them fast and win the game quickly. But it's have not Red Burn. Instead of it have a black removal that kill anything, including Exalted Angel, a really painful creature for aggro deck, and discard the counter spells. So it's again better against control decks before sideboard than the red green version. Maybe not, I'm not sure to be honest. Sadly, it's interesting moment that the Rock, it's not just mid-range deck, and it even feels like some control, because it have big creatures, have discard, but also have the mass removal, and you mostly win not by big bodies. It's rare cases when your opponent do nothing and you play fast big body. Mostly it won by combinations of Recurring Nightmare and something recycling cards from graveyard, like Wall to draw and block, when Druid to play more tokens, when Kavu to gain more lives. So it's like not so fast, it's maybe even more control than midrange, and again, as me and my wife don't big fan of controls. So after this we go to next deck buildings, and I made I think a mistake maybe. This time I firstly build deck for my wife. She want again return to something aggressive but more effective, yeah, something hider, more popular, and to don't play only casual, to also go to events. And I built Sly. It's not so simple deck actually, but it's really popular in Premodern, and it's really effective. You can have a lot of free wins when your opponent just make some mistake and mulligan and keep not so good hand to answer. He can just have no time to answer for Sly aggressive effects. Of course, deck can be hated by some enchantments and effects by other side, but in Premodern you have a lot of cards to avoid the red hate when you play something like Burn deck. And it's stupidly effective, to be honest. You play cheap creatures, go to attack when use Burn, and some big effective finishers. The deck is pretty cool, and I also built something new for myself, because I have 2 decks, I need to turn one, and I made a mistake, as I mentioned before. I don't have so many fun with control, but my new deck was black and white control. As I mentioned before, it's a deck that put out the Dead Guy slightly, because some people even name it like playable Dead Guy L. I don't like this naming, because Dead Guy L is fine deck, I like it. It's actually my favorite deck, but still, Black and White Control fun too. It's again, have a lot of white removal, have a finishers, and instead of counter magic, it use blue control decks, it's use discard. Duras, Verdict, and of course good removal that can be used only in black and white combination, like MtG. This deck is a control, but it's not feels like a blue control by these reasons, yeah, because you need to discard the cards, you need to think about what if opponent top deck, because if counter spells answers for spell when opponent play it, discard answers for hand, but not for top decks. It can be dangerous sometimes. And for myself, again, it's control. I play it for fun on casual kitchen games, then drop it when I play it one big event, and again put it to shelf, because control deck so slow, waiting for play this big dragon for 7 mana, oh no. And I switch back to that Gael for kitchen plays, and at this moment I think that to have more fun from Premodern I need something that different, yeah, not that Gael, because actually in old school Magic I play mostly black decks with their critical hippies and stuff like this. So when I used same deck in Premodern, it's like even full different, yeah, I don't gain extra new experience from the game, so I want to build something tempo. I was thinking about the two tempo decks, it's Dreadnought, not so tempo, yeah, it's maybe more combo, but anyway, it's fast deck that use counter magic, or Madness, Survival Madness. And at the moment I'm thinking about what expensive stuff to buy, because if you buy some expensive cards, you need to play with them, you need to like them, so I want to choose the Dreadnought or Survivals and the Gilded Drake. And for actually test on myself the Premodern tempo strategies, I build the Madness, Blue and Green Madness without Survival, really budget deck, and it's really cool. It's use so good creatures. If you don't know, before the Tarmogoyf, Wild Mongrel was the best creature. But if you're a modern player, you don't think that Tarmogoyf best creature, right? Okay, but Mongrel was cool in the past and still cool in Premodern. It's really big. It can be like 5/5, 6/6 in attack. And of course, blue part, fine. Cards like Gush, Daze, Counterspell, of course, it's not fun for everyone, but I like to use stuff like this. And also I like cantrips, of course. Maybe any Magic player like it. So I stopped on not Dreadnought, but Survival Madness and build it. So still the Blue and Green Madness have the all these values. Of course have not Gush, have not Foil, I think, free counterspell. That's not so good like Force of Will, but at least legal in Premodern. But this deck has the other instrument for advantage. Survival the Fittest, you can trigger your Madness creatures to search something. You can combine Squee for find any creature that you need at the current moment. And if you have not Survival, you still can play as Blue and Green Madness and just go to attack with Rootvalas and Mongrels, why not? And of course for 4 Trample Wound. A fine deck, and at this point I finally resolve my wife's request for tribal deck, and we build the Goblins too. I still think Goblins not easy deck, and my wife play mostly for fun, casually, so maybe it's not again so easy. But at the same time, Goblins have like sly, unwinnable, powerful goldfishes. Like Goblin Locate to the Gun Commander, it's really painful. Yeah, with Goblin Locate to the Gun Commander to Resident Port, you will lock your opponent. Your opponent can do nothing, and at the same time take damage from the gang. More Goblins from Locate, it's like big problem. When you play against the Goblins, it's hard. You need to, if you know against what you're playing, mulligan hands, if you even have not the fast removal. Yeah, it can be so big trouble for many mid-range or control decks. Like you have a good counter spells, thinking about I put something into field when use Wrath of God. No, you need to have a removal to Locate, because in other case you will never play Wrath of God. So now you've seen all 8 Premodern decks that me and my wife use for casual games and sometimes for the events. I can say that, of course, not all of this deck is high tier, not all of this deck is popular, but all of them at least fun. Even not popular decks from this list, sadly Dead Gale and the Fires, they are the maybe legends, yeah? Type Pop was good in the Type 2, was good in different extended, and in the case of the Dead Gale, even Legacy versions was close to current Premodern list, and you can build deck like this just for collection, just for feeling yourself as a part of Magic history. Thank you for watching this video up to the end. If you like it, please support me by leave a comment, press like button, subscribe to the channel. Have a nice day, have a nice games, and bye!